everyone, welcome back to Krista B Talks. I'm your host, Krista B, and today we have a special guest, Ms. Brittney Harris. She's a real estate agent for the state of Missouri, and today we will be talking about the benefits of working with a real estate agent in today's technology world. Hi, Brittney.
Hi, Krista. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Yes. So what separates you from other agents in the market?
I love that question. So honestly, I think for one, it's my personality, right? I think I bring a lot of warmth, a lot of vibrancy, and just a dynamic character to the business, right? I think that I am also associated and have built a lot of relationships, again, with the different people that are in my business, such as interior designers, such as lenders, builders. I am a part of the St. Louis Home Builders Association because I do a lot of new construction. I really built great relationships with people that are building production homes, semi-custom homes, and also custom homes because I really just love that process. I am super detailed in the process and me advising my clients throughout the process and letting them know their options. I think that at the end of the day, integrity is so important. And I let my spirituality shine through my business as well. I think that what I bring to the table, honestly, is God's work is what I like to call it. I think I have spiritual gifts that are related to leadership and also just giving. I really just want to give to people, and how I do that is through advisement.
Oh, so what inspired you to have that inspiration to give?
You know what? I think it's just an innate thing for me when I'm growing up. I loved being in the new construction and luxury market because it is detail oriented, but through me doing that, I really just want everybody to live a lucrative life, right? I think everybody deserves, especially if they work hard in this life, they deserve nice things. And I think we also deserve nice things, Crystal. And I want to show people how to obtain that, again, with the proper advisement. But giving to me, it just warms my heart. It makes me happy. And it just makes me joyful at the end of the day. And I feel like that energy feeds off of me into my clients. And it's essentially why they want to work with me. So I know the market. I know the data. I know how to go through the process. But I think people are really attracted to me because of my personality and what I have to give to them, because I want to see them succeed at the end of the day.
Awesome. Yeah. Are you networking with other mortgage brokers or agents that may give you leads?
So I won't say I get leads. I actually get most of my business from social media. I heavily market on social media because I feel like that's a really warm way to get clientele. So when people come to me, they already know me. I'm not selling them on me. I'm really big on energy. So I sell my personality, if that makes sense, right? And so through that, I've built relationship with lenders, designers, other people that are in the business that are adjacent to our business, because this is a relationship business. So through knowing other people, networking in the city, that is a lot of how I've gotten my business.
Awesome. When is the best time for a buyer to buy property?
So honestly, it is when you are ready, right? I say this all the time, and it's the same thing with selling. Everybody has different needs. Everybody has different financial parameters. It really is what works best for you. Are you prepared, and have you talked to a professional about what your circumstances are, and then put a timeline together? It's really that simple. And then when it comes to the market, you hire a professional that can educate you on the market trends and what's actually going on and what's going to be in your best interest.
Cool. So you don't believe in like there's a perfect season to sell property or buy property?
I mean, the perfect season is when it's for you. You know what I mean? I don't think that there's just the one time a year where you should buy or one time of year when you should sell. I mean, a lot of it's based upon lifestyle. I always say that real estate will always turn. Why? Because people are always having babies, having families, relocating for a job. There's deaths, there's divorces. Like, real estate is always going on, no matter, you know, whatever the market is actually doing. So
awesome. Why is it so important for someone to pair or work with a real estate agent to sell property instead of going the cheaper route and try to do it on their own?
Yes, I love this question. So that's what we call a for sale by owner, right? So people that love to sell their own properties, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? So, but when you hire a realtor, for one, you're hiring us to negotiate on your behalf and work through contractual agreements that are on the contract, right? So do you know the contract well enough to protect yourself at the end of the day? Because when another party comes in, they'll probably have a realtor, right? And then they're gonna negotiate the contract in their best interest, while you may or may not know what contractual agreements you're agreeing to without knowing what comes before that, right? Or what stipulations that you're attached to. So I always say that is like the first thing, right? And then also, do you know the market trends? Do you have access to data and what's going on in the market to be able to actively price your home correctly and know what's going on in the market? Or do you even know what's attractive in the market at this point, right? Because everybody likes something different. The times change and things like that. And then just the educational process. This process can be tedious. It can be emotional for some people, which is valid, right? And just having somebody to lean on that is a true professional that does this day in and day out. It can really help. And also having the resources. Do you have the resources available when things do come up, such as your lenders, your designers, your home inspectors, your title companies? All of those people are part of the business, and we are all part of the wheel that makes it turn, essentially.
I love that answer. And my follow-up question to that would be, what are some mistakes that you've seen buyers made or sellers made?
Yes. Okay. So the one that hits at the top of my head at the moment is new construction. So I have built a business around new construction at this point, and I love the process. It's super detailed, right? So, but going into that process, you really have to know, for one, you need a really great lender, right? And so there's a difference between having a regular loan, such as a conventional FHA, or having a construction to perm loan, right? Those are two completely different things. So when buyers walk in a new construction appointment, which I actually had one just recently, they walked in with a conventional loan and they thought the builder could do that. And they also thought the lender could support that type of loan product for building, right? When essentially they had the wrong loan going into it, and that kind of delayed them from signing a purchase agreement for them to move forward to purchase the property, right? And so I had to come in and then re-navigate them in the beginning to get the proper financing in place so that they could put the lot reservation down to build their home, essentially, right? So walking in the door, a realtor should know what the process looks like to prevent you from wasting time, for one thing, and just going the wrong route or getting improper information, right? I think we're in this business, again, to educate, and we all have our roles, but I think realtors are the glue that keeps everybody together and are able to properly advise you through different home purchase and selling processes.
What does the process look like for a first-time buyer that's trying to buy or sell property?
Well, that's a great question. So for a first-time buyer, or anybody honestly just purchasing property, right? The first thing that you're going to do is reach out to a lender. The lender is the financial piece of this whole process, right? We need a pre-approval to determine what you can afford to purchase, and as well as your mortgage monthly payment. I always tell people that you still need to live a lifestyle out of owning a home, right? We don't want you to be house poor. So the most important thing is to find out what you're comfortable doing monthly mortgage-wise, right? So when you get a pre-approval, the lender's going to give you a piece of paper to say, hey, you're approved to buy this much house. But essentially, they are going off your net income, not your gross income. Oh. Your gross income is what you actually take home, right? And so even though this pre-approval says $500,000, what can you actually afford, right? Because they're going to put it at the top. So let's find out what you can actually afford. Once we do that, then we can figure out what type of home do you actually want? What area do you want to stay in? What's important to you lifestyle-wise? Do you have kids? Are you worried about school districts? Are you worried about amenities in the city lifestyle-wise, being next to music, entertainment, food, walkability? Those are some of the questions that I actually ask my buyers when we start this process. And then we start to really drill down on what do you like about the actual interior of the home, right? And so that process really entails us drilling down, financially knowing what you can afford. And then after that, once you select a home, we actually put in a contract. From that actual initial you find in the home, we'll put in the contract. The first thing that comes up is earnest money. You have to be ready to put down earnest money. Earnest money is telling the seller, hey, I'm serious about buying this home. And it's essentially anywhere from 1% of the purchase of the home to anything larger, right? The bigger, the more competitive, okay, when it comes to an offer. So you can do that. And then once you get an accepted contract, right after that comes home inspections. I advise everybody to always do home inspections because you want to know the condition of the home, right? You want to know what you're purchasing. So after that, we can negotiate whether or not that this is a deal breaker for you, or we can move on and ask for closing costs, essentially or seller concessions is what we like to call them in the process. And then we come to a middle ground on that. Once we come to a middle ground on that, then I go ahead and alert the lender. So the lender comes back in the process and he orders the appraisal. The appraisal is going to tell you how much that home is actually worth on the market in comparison to other properties that are in the market within a certain radius in that area, right? Once that comes back to us, then we go ahead and give it to the seller sometimes, and then we'll negotiate if the price is too high. If the appraisal actually comes in lower, and we have to figure out how to come to a middle ground on that. If the appraisal actually comes back higher, then you have instant equity, right? Which is always a good thing. And then after that, we do final walkthrough in the property to make sure the property looks the same as when you first put the contract in. And then after that, you actually close, right? And so that's when the title company comes in and you sign all the paperwork along with the lender and things of that nature. So you just have to be prepared financially for this process. I know a lot of people talk about down payment assistance programs and things of that nature, which are available to you, which usually have income parameters. So when you're initially talking to a lender, you'll want to ask them, hey, what are the income parameters for this type of program? Because I'm a first time buyer, and they'll tell you what that actually looks like. So yeah.
Now, what is the primary role of a real estate agent throughout the home buying process and selling process?
So the biggest role that a realtor plays, again, is having access to resources and me advising you or guiding you throughout the process, right? I kind of look at this process as if you are a partner with me, right? So we're partnering together to achieve your goal, right? And whatever your goal is, I'm here to advise you through that and give you recommendations. Of course, you cannot take them, but my goal, again, is supposed to be in your best interest. I am high on integrity, so I treat every transaction as if it's my own. And so the role for me is really just proper advisement at the end of the day and being educated on the market and making sure that you're educated. And then again, access to different resources and relationships that you might not even be privy to or just know about in general. And honestly, my goal is to take time off your plate. Real estate can take up a lot of time, especially when you're searching for properties. I have access to off-market properties. I network with different agents in different areas so that I know when those properties are coming to market. So just having access to the relationships, I think, is a really big deal, because even when you're submitting offers and putting in deals, if I built relationships with different agents, right, then they're more inclined to look at my offers and work with me because they know my lenders, they know me. I do really well in the market, and I just do well for myself, and I show up as a kind, warm, spirited person, right? And so they're just comfortable working with me, and that's a benefit for my clients. Again, the technology is more so like, have you seen the new drone technology? Us taking videos and marketing those videos properly to convey emotional lifestyle attributes of a home so they can connect with the buyer emotionally, right? Because can I see myself living here through the videography and the music that's attached to that and making it warm and friendly for you to come see the property?
Now, to close off, what advice would you give to people that's trying to buy or sell property?
Yes. The first thing I would do is sit down and figure out what your goals are. That is the most important thing. Are you looking to be stable or have stability in one area for 3 to 5 years if you're trying to buy property, especially if it's luxury or new construction, right? You want to be able to make money off of these properties. That is the goal of real estate, as well as giving you a dwelling. So the first thing that you'll want to do is make sure you're within your financial constraints. The lender is the first thing always, right? After that, you get a realtor on your side that is professional, has integrity, and you trust them. Because there's nothing worse than working with somebody you don't trust. At the end of the day, it is not a fun process. And I do not get in business to not have fun at the end of the day, right? I think business is business, but again, I get into the business to do my work, have fun with my clients, and advise them. And it doesn't have to always be serious. I think we get down to the information and then we have fun with the process. You know what I mean? Because it can be a long time or it could be a short time. We might be working together for 2 months or we might be working together for a year. You never know. So again, I think that's super important. And then just utilizing your realtor and making sure that they are connected in different ways that you might not think of. So really just try to get to know them, how they work, how they communicate, and if it fits your needs. And then from there, everything should be smooth sailing, honestly. So if you trust them and they have explained to you how their business works, who they're attached to, and what they really want for themselves, I think that can alleviate a lot of problems in the end. And I set expectations up front, and then I ask my clients, what are their expectations at this end? Because I think it works both ways, right? So after that, then I think it's a really smooth transaction, and they will guide you throughout the process, whether it's purchasing or selling.
Okay, Brittney, and where can potential clients find you?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Brittney Harris Living, and you can also find me on Facebook at the same Brittney Harris Living. That is my name on all platforms, and you can reach out to me anytime, email or on those platforms.
And Brittney, does your broker has an impact on your success?
Yes, it does. This is what I will say about that. When you first get into real estate, I think you automatically need to hang your license with the broker, right? Everybody needs to do that when they first come into the business. But you should expect to change brokerages as your career grows, right? So essentially, you are interviewing your broker as a real estate agent. You need to figure out what your broker offers you and what you're going to get out of them with hanging your license with them, right? So things that you're looking for is, maybe the commission split or the training or the things that they'll teach you about the transaction, the contract, right? Which is probably the most important thing because it's how you protect your client. So figure out how your broker is going to benefit you because essentially they work for you, not the other way around, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's really important to just figure out what they're giving you out of the deal. And from there, expect to grow, right? Because once you grow, you'll need different things. So in the beginning of my career, I needed a lot of hand holding, of course, right? So training was super pivotal for me in the beginning with knowing the contract, how to protect my clients, getting to know resources, getting to know the flow of the process in general of home selling and home purchasing. Now with me almost 5 years in, it's more so what can my broker provide me as far as resources and access and sponsorship, right? How do I get the certain opportunities maybe in different neighborhoods or the different access in different rooms to attract different clientele, to know what that clientele might need throughout a transaction, right? So I just need different things now as my career has grown. And also since I've niched down, right? Although I take different clients and things like that, I really specialize in luxury and new construction. That is the nature and the cream and crop of my business at this point because I have become specialized in that. And when people are looking for realtors, sometimes, and especially with that clientele, they're looking for somebody who truly knows the ins and out and has the expertise in that certain area, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I've done is actually specialize at that point and been very pivotal or instrumental with attaining the resources and the contacts to be able to support that clientele readily.
Well, thanks again for being here today with me, Brittney.
Of course.
Anytime. Love it. Awesome. Anytime. And for those who are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next episode of Crystal B Talks. Bye, guys. Bye.